Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B-Far. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book doing what I do for you. Oh, this is gonna be fun. My favorite. We're gonna talk a little bit about my girl, the yoga of right action. That, aka, is what we call Maat philosophy. Let's talk about it. Writism, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission at all, right thinkers, know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical. So if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them, don't be them. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. Add to my eye be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about my favorite, the yoga of right action, aka Maya philosophy. This is a quote from my ancient scriptures. They say, you know that they are not merciful on the day when you're judged by the miserable ones, okay? When they judge the miserable ones, meaning you. Do not count on the passage of the years because they consider a lifetime but an hour, okay, in eternity. So after death, and this is the question, and this is the point of teaching my philosophy, they're preparing you for this whole event right here. After death, man remains in existence and his acts accumulate beside him or her. Life in the other world is eternal, meaning when you're going now, it's forever. But it's some things you got to do to get there. And but he who arrives without sin before the judge of the dead, I mean that the scales of Mayat, judgment day, the halls of Mayat take, you will be there as a netter, and you will now walk freely as do the masters of eternity. You will become one of God's favorites, the blessed ones who had a right, lived a righteous life and passed the test of Mayat at death and became to the afterlife. That's how you gain admittance. So let's go. So what they're saying here is the reference to his acts accumulate beside him. That's alluding to your unconscious impressions, which are formed as the result of your actions while you were alive. The stuff that you did that you thought nobody knew about, stuff that you thought you got away with, this is what you accumulate while you're alive. And you think you got away, no, karma keeps track of that. So at judgment, if you didn't get it while you was here alive, she's going to bring it to you at judgment day while they're yours. Okay? She's going to come, boom, this belongs to you. But no, my heart got to be light as a feather. Yeah, but this is yours. So what's got to be means nothing. You should have thought about that when you're doing all this stuff you got over here. Okay, that's the purpose of purifying one's heart. That's what actions and deeds while you're here living. And that's the good people who are blessed. These impressions can be either positive or negative. Remember, principles don't give a damn how you use them. They're not here to appease or please. No, they just are what they are. Your positive impressions are developed through right thinking, positive action, and by living a life of righteousness and virtue. Maat, ding, 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 ding. That's right then philosophy. That's what it's based on, right there. Right there. That's why I get animated about that. That's what I do. That's what I know. And you can do it too. Why? I don't have a lock on it. She don't care. But this implies that living in accordance to the precepts of the mystical wisdoms, or being a follower of Haru, Horus to some, Shimshu, Hor, and Aset. That means you following the Syrian tradition. And these actions draw one closer to harmony and peace, thus paving the mental psychological way for you to discover yourself with that. These are the path, the ingredients that you need to use. But the negative impressions, your ego, are only developed through your sinful, ready? Egoistic action. Again, the ego is not good or bad. He just don't care. He just right. He's just reckless. That's all. So if we keep putting him in the devil mode, no. He's equal. You got to have this. You got good. You got to have bad. And the ego represents that. You got good. You got bad. Haru, the high level, Set, the lower level, but they still in the same person, and they are related to what we call mental agitation, disharmony, restlessness. That means your heart and your mind ain't on the same page. With Maat, she teaches you how to balance it out. Just as much bad as it is good. You got to have balance. And this implies acts that's based on anger, fear, desires, greed, depression, gloom, etc. All egoistic qualities that you will live and perform, and you wonder at the end when it's over, where did all that come from? From all the actions that you set forth. Okay, you ain't aware of that? Pay attention. But these actions draw you into the outer world of your human desires, the physical world. And this distracts your mind and will not allow your intellect, S-A-A, to function at its best, to be totally understanding of what you're learning. You're not learning if you're egoistic, okay? You're ignorant. Thus, existence at this level is closer to what we know as animal beings, based on animal instincts and desires of the body, rather than a spiritually mature human being, aka Haru, your higher self, and is based on reason of selflessness and compassion, etc. When I'm doing is giving something of myself to help somebody else. That's called a selfless service. A righteous act, a virtuous act, something good and positive, and is known as what? Purifying one's heart. Speaking Makaru, the truth, okay? You have to learn, understand, and know the truth in order to speak it and live it. How then is it possible to eradicate your ego negative karmic impressions and to develop your positive ones? There you go. Come on. I can help you with that. That's my goal. The answer lies in your understanding of the wisdom teachings, right in philosophy, and your daily practice of them. You can learn, listen, think, understand, but if you don't use it, implement it, means nothing. Knowledge is power. No, use of knowledge is power. The power to use the knowledge is what makes it powerful. Having it don't mean jack. So when you study, like I do daily, of the teachings in over a period of time, you living according to them. Right there. I don't give a crap what you teach, preach, or practice. As long as you give it 100% effort, I got no problem with you. And when you living according to what you teach or preach, now your mind undergoes a transformation at all levels. Like the caterpillar, once it goes into the cocoon, that's you studying. And once you put the work and implement it and do it, you're in the cocoon because you're making changes. It's called alchemy, internal alchemy. Spiritual and mental alchemy happens internal. Like the caterpillar, it goes up in this cocoon, grows itself up, and now when they come out, it's a bad mamma jamma, butterfly. Whole different structure. I love that concept. But this transformation is what we call purification of one's heart. so often spoken about what? Through the Egyptian book of coming forth by day. That's what it's teaching you, how to purify your heart by offering up selfless service, helping others, putting yourself accountable. And it signifies that an eradication of what? Negative, ignorant impressions of one's ego, which renders your mind pure and subtle now. You got no distractions, you got no obstacles when egos got out the way. So when your mind is rendered subtle, clear, then your spiritual realization, which is the goal for all right thinkers, is now possible to happen. Ignorance and egoism won't let that happen. So this spiritual discipline and this concept of purifying the heart, how? By living according to the teachings that you learn, is known as the yoga of action. I call it right thinking philosophy, or better known as Maat or Karma Yoga in India yoga system. It's a philosophy that you can master by practicing and implement it in your daily life, and you have mastery. The philosophy of Maat is what I stand on, is a profound teaching which encompasses the fabric of creation as well as a highly effective system of what we call spiritual disciplines, aka the negative confessions of Maat, holding yourself accountable for spiritual transformation. In creation stories, in the Bircha, God is said to have the first thing he did when he came out of the Noon, out of the chaotic potential of everything. He called for Maat, and to have established creation upon Maat. Why? She represents balance in all things and everything that's divine and good and righteous. Consequently, it follows that Maat is the orderly flow of energy which maintains the whole universe. Furthermore, Maat is the regulatory which governs the massive planetary and your solar system, as well as the growth of a blade of grass. See where we're going with this? Maat a bad girl. And in all human cells, she keeps order in everything. This natural process, it represents the flow of creation wherein there is constant movement and is maintaining its balance of what? Opposites. Up is down, hot and cold, here and there, you and me, yin and yang, etc. You get the concept? You need two opposites. That's what Maat represents. Choice. Okay. If there is no choice, God is the only one that don't give you choice. Why? He is all. That's why. So anything outside of God, if you a gambling person, you want odds in your favor. Ain't no gambling casino, ain't no game that they devise that's going to give you better odds than God. 50-50. They have raffles, 50-50. Yeah, no. It's 50-50 chance of you winning. There's a 50-50 chance of you losing. And if the odds get any different, I'm not playing that game. I don't gamble for that purpose. Okay, philosophically. But most people act out of different forces. Again, individual choices, which are coursing through them at the time. These may be hunger, lust, fear, hatred, anger, elation, etc. All low-level concepts that if you live in there, you're living on your lower level. They have no control over these aspects of their life because they have not understood that their true essence is in reality separate from their thoughts and emotion of the physical body. When you go to sleep, the body don't go with the mind. Spirit do, but the mind and consciousness leaves. Okay, go wherever it want, do whatever it want. The body ain't got no control. That's what he's trying to explain to you. So they have identified with their thoughts. Now you're going, and therefore now you are led to the consequences of those thoughts. Right thoughts leads to right actions, right deeds, and thereby engender you as the aspirant who's having developed your higher level of spiritual sensitivity, gaining knowledge of self, spiritual knowledge, and practicing spiritual disciplines. And now you are aware that you have a choice in all things in life. Your thoughts, you can think right, you can think wrong. You got actions, you can perform it right, you can perform it wrong. That's freedom, free will to choose and do whatever you want. And remember, cause and effect. Reap what you sow. If your actions are good, they're rewarded. If they are bad, they are punished. Simple as that. That's the shot of the life. 50-50. You got this or you got that. And you can choose, because you have a choice, whether to act in the ways that is in harmony with Maat, or use those who act in disharmony with they want to serve themselves. Okay? And you have now studied the word, learned and gained the wisdom if you implied the lesson that you learned. And now you must now look beyond the level of rituals, no, and worship of the divine to the realm of what? Practice and experience of becoming one with the divine, with the word that you put in it. And the daily meditation will make that possible. You can't talk to God without meditating. In ordinary human life, those who have not achieved the state of spiritual enlightenment, aka know themselves, the masses, and there's a bunch of y'all in society, we got 80 million ignorant people who put this guy in control. That scared the hell out of me more than anything else. Understand that, please. Why? We got a problem. That's a problem right there. And they perceive nature as a conglomeration of forces which are unpredictable and in need of control. That's ignorance. However, as spiritual, sensitively enlightened, mature, the aspirant right thinker, you realize that what once appeared to be chaotic, you find order. That's in reality, that's the divine plan of the Supreme Being. And this is the process of unfoldment. We have to experience it for ourselves. And when this state of what? Consciousness, you becoming aware. Once you attain self-knowledge, once you attain spiritual enlightenment, now you, the aspirant, you realize that there is an underlying order in nature which can only be perceived through your spiritual eye, aka your third eye, the spiritual eye that sees your internal concept. And that's where God dwells. So now you've seen God. You come face to face with God in your spiritual eye, not these eyes, because they only see out. You see the conversation? Hope you get the concept. The various injunctions of Maat, we got 42 of them. And they're there for a purpose of what? Keeping order within oneself and even in society amongst the ordinary people. If we've been practicing Maat as a people, we wouldn't have the leader that we got right now. So, people without psychological maturity, knowledge of self, ignorance, and are spiritually unsensitive, meaning that they lack in awareness of their spiritual principles that we practice Maat, your moral and ethical development of oneself. That's how I hold myself accountable. Also, they provide insight into the order of creation and is a pathway or a spirit for those who spiritually disciplined. That arduous road that very few people try. Why? They like the broad road to self-destruction. That road to self-destruction, that broad road. The road to self-enlightenment is the narrow, arduous road that very few people want to tread. Which, when followed, will lead you, the aspirant right thinker, to now come into what? Total harmony with the cosmic order. You becoming one with God. When you, the individual, when you atone your own sense of order and balance within yourself and you become one with the cosmic order, it's a spontaneous unity that occurs only between that individual and the cosmic of the principles of Maat. The cosmos and the principles of Maat rather than a blind set of superstitious rules which we must strive to follow. No, I don't do the commandment thing. Become a part of one's inner character. The principle of Maat, okay, becomes part of one's principal character, and you proceed from one in a spontaneous manner. You become enlightened. Bam, like a lightning strike. And this means what? That through the deeper and true understanding of the cosmic order and the practice of the principles set by and the practice of living them and living in harmony with the order of Maat, you now the individual would be led, you, him or her, to now mentally and spiritual discipline and harmony within yourself by practicing these things for yourself. It is this peace and the harmony which allows what we say the lake of the mind to become clear as a mirror, in which now your individual soul is able to realize its oneness with the universal soul. It's going home. It done made the connection. It done figured it out. You did your job as a human being, and now because of that, you will be rewarded with what? Eternal life with your God. Maat signifies what? That which is straight. Her feather, and you know feather in the blood, her don't move. It signifies straight. And she got two symbols that represent her. Watch this. Maat and her ostrich feather that don't move, and the pedestal that God stands on. You see the God Pater, he always stands on Maat. All gods stand on that pedestal. You see that bottom of the nut, they all stand on Maat. Okay? Had our justice system and what we do now been practicing Maat, we wouldn't be where we are now. Burkina Faso is practicing Maat. Watch this. So now, we told that Ra got two daughters, two eyes, left and the right eye. The left eye, you know, is sent back. She's the destructive one. When she come, you got a problem. Okay, she's the one that he sent her down. All those who don't worship me, kill them. She went buck wild. She started killing the ones who did worship. She said, yo, my man, we with you. But he got a destructive part, and then he got the right part, which is what Maat represents. Maat is the daughter of Ra, okay? The high God. Thus, in the hymn to Ra, it is said, the land of Manu, which is the west. I just gave a lesson about the blessed go to the west. Ignorant come from the east. That's ignorance, you don't know. And you're born in the east. You shouldn't die ignorant. So the west receives all those with what? Satisfaction of the goddess Maat, meaning you pass the judgment test of your heart being light as her feather, and you embrace thee both at the morning and at the evening. And the god Tahuti and the goddess Maat have written down your daily course for thee for every day, forever. She keeps the order. Tahuti keeps the wisdom. They work synonymous together, and it keeps the cycle going. Okay? And the hymn, I'm wrapping up with this one. The hymn to the papyrus of the Quina provides a deeper insight into respect for Maat. It says, I have come to thee, O Lord of the gods. Tamu, Haru Katu, Haru Kuti, who Maat, what? Directeth Amen. Ra rests and stands upon Maat. Ra lives by Maat. Asar, in the physical form, in spirit made matter, first man, along in the earth, on the physical world, is he lives by Maat. Maat is the daughter of Ra, and he with him in celestial barge. When they first emerged from the primeval water, she was at the helm, okay, clearing the way, so to speak. And along with his company of gods, all these is god and goddesses, male and female, she is also known as the Eye of Ra. She's the lady of heaven. She's the queen of the earth. She's the mistress of the netherworld and the lady of the gods and goddesses. Mayat also is the dual form of Mayate, represented by Aset and Netet. In her capacity of God, Mayat is the she's. Mayat, which means ceaselessness, regularity of the course of the sun. In essence, she controls the universe, reigned by Mayat. In this form of Mayate, she represents the south and the north, which symbolizes upper and lower Egypt, as well as the higher and lower south. Mayat is the personification of justice and righteousness upon which God has created the universe, and Mayat is also the essence of God and creation. Therefore, it is Mayat who judges all souls, who within when it arrives in the judgment hall of Mayat, and every soul passes through there. Sometimes Mayat herself becomes the scales upon which your heart of the initiate is judged. Mayat judges the heart. That's your unconscious mind, meaning not this one. This one they throw away when you die. This one. I didn't know the heart had a mind. Oh yeah, and it's bigger than this one. Okay, mine's bigger than yours. All right, but the heart, unconscious mind of the initiate is in an attempt to determine to what extent that the heart has lived in accordance with the Mayat philosophy of truth, correctness, reality, genuineness, uprightness, righteousness, justice, steadfastness, and my favorite, reciprocity, and the unadulterated nature of creation. How did you live? That's what the judgment is for all souls to want to know. How'd you live? But no, shut up. It's all in your heart. Wrap it up with this one. In a sense, Mayat is at once, she's the equivalent for the Chinese concept of the Tao or the way of nature. That's how important she is in the Egyptians. But this way of nature, from the Tao to Tai Ching, the main text of the Taoism, it represents the harmony of human and the divine universe consciousness becoming one. Also, Mayat may be likened with the Indian idea of Dharma, okay, or what they call the ethical rules and values of life from the Indian philosophical Vedic teachings, which related to what? Karma yoga. We know it as to be Maya, and over there is called karma. The yogic spiritual discipline, which emphasizes what? Selfless service, helping others, and the right attitude that leads to the right actions, and they are being performed by you in the name of God who is working through you. You're the instrument. You're the instrument of God. Now, you, instead of your personal ego self, God is working through you when you become your higher self, for you to serve what? Humanity and not yourself, which is also essentially your God self. There are two roads travel. Again, this is the 50-50 concept. Taking it home right here. This is perfect closeout. There are two roads in humankind. Those who seek to live Mayat and those who seek to satisfy themselves, egoistic passions. That's 50-50. You can do you can do Mayat. I choose Mayat every time. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I did it in less than a half hour. I'm enjoying it. Hope you are too. Hope you're learning some things about yourself. That's the whole purpose of me giving you this information. So, in closing, may you all think of live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never let my right thinkers who now understand the yoga of right actions, aka my philosophy, have passed away. Live it, trust me.